Hola y bienvenidos a nuestra sesión hoy. Vamos a repasar la unidad 5. Ok, primeramente quiero repasar el verbo gustarse. We're going to review the verb gustar. Okay, gustar is a reflexive verb, so it's a little different forming than the rest of them. You'll notice it's almost the same conjugation in every one of our boxes here. Gusta, 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 gusta. However, what does change is that pronoun in front of it. That says that basically it actually means to please. So me gusta really means it pleases me, or te gusta, it pleases you. That's one reason why it's reflexive. Okay, so depending on the different pronoun in front of it, we would know who we're talking about. Me, te, le, nos, os, les. Okay, I just want to remind you that when we're using gustar, we change that conjugation to from gusta to gustan with an N, depending on not who is talking, like all the other conjugations we're used to, but depending on the item we're talking about. So if the item is plural, we use the plural form of gustar, which is gustan. Okay, because it's almost like saying they please me. So like the books. It's saying I like the books, but that's technically the translation would be they please me. The books please me. Okay? So we have me gusta el libro, I like the book, or me gustan los libros, I like the books. A él le gusta el libro, he likes the book. A él le gustan los libros. So again, if the item's plural, we just change that to gustan. Okay, then we have a ellas, and remember out here we're just adding this a mí, a ellas, a él for emphasis. Okay, just to say they really like it. Okay, that's who likes it. A ellas les gusta el carro, a ellas les gustan los carros. A mí me gusta la casa, a mí me gustan las casas. So the simple rule is if it's plural, just add an N. Other than that, use it the exact same way you've been using it. Okay, so same I did. This is just a closer look. Okay, if it's singular, depending on who's talking, you just say me gusta, te gusta, le gusta, nos gusta, os gusta, les gusta. If the item, remember the item, not the people we're talking about, it's the item that we like. That's what we're determining is it singular or plural? Okay, if it's plural, you'd conjugate it almost the same, you just add an N. Okay, make sure you understand the subject pronouns in Spanish. We're going to use them for every type of verb moving forward. And today specifically we're going to talk about some ER-IR conjugation verbs. So you'll definitely want to understand this chart. Just remembering that there's different subject pronouns, right? Different people that the sentence or could be about or who we're speaking about. And each of these different people will have a different conjugation. Okay, just a brief reminder, we do have these same things in English. For example, you would say, I eat, he eats, with an S on the end. That's a different conjugation depending on who is speaking. The difference is in English, we usually only have about 2, whereas in Spanish, you have 6, depending on who's talking. Okay, just a reminder about this very important verb that you need to know, the verb ser, and these are the conjugations. This is how you say am, are, is in Spanish. Right here in English, you're very familiar with these. These are conjugations, same idea. Depending on who is talking, you might say I am and he is. You would never say he am or I is, right? Same idea in Spanish, just a little bit more detailed. Okay, so we have soy, eres, es, somos, sois, and son. Remember, these conjugations will always belong to just that subject pronoun. So you would never say yo somos or ella son. That doesn't work. Okay, you just stick to the same conjugations for the subject pronoun. And you can go by these charts. Okay, as promised, we are talking about ER, IR verb conjugation. Okay, Very similar to AR verb conjugation. So this is the pattern for all regular ER or IR verbs. Remember, the verb ends in ER or IR. Okay? Notice how they actually share pretty much all the same endings. The only difference one is nosotros. Okay, so either if it ends in ER, you would do hemos. So like comemos, we eat. Okay, or imos if it's an IR verb, like escribir ends in IR, so escribimos. Other than that, you would follow this pattern for the endings. Remember, taking off the ER or the IR and adding this ending instead. So we have o, es, a, hemos, imos, es, en. Remember, this is very similar to the AR verbs. They actually all share the O for the first person. For AR verbs, it's just an A instead of the E in most of these places. So very similar. Okay, so here's a closer look so you can see how it's applied. So we would take off that ER of the verb vender, and you just add those endings shown you on this chart right here. Okay, this may be something you want to copy down so that you can use for all your verbs here in the future. So we have vendo, vendes, vende, vendemos, vendes, venden, depending on who is talking. Here's an example of the IR ending. So we have compartir, to share. So comparto, compartes, comparte, compartimos, compartis, comparten. So you notice these two are the ones that change. Other than that, they share the same endings as with the ER verbs. Okay, I want to spend some time talking about the verb tener. This is a very important verb and a verb you'll use quite a bit in Spanish, right? Tener, it means to have, which is something we say quite a bit. Okay, you'll notice this is an irregular verb. Okay, so the pattern doesn't follow what we just went over for ER verbs, right? It changes a little bit, and that's okay. It's just one of those irregular ones you have to memorize. Okay, so we have tengo, tienes, tiene, tenemos, tenéis, tienen. Okay, remember that tener plus que means to have to. So I have to do something. I have to go there. You're going to want to use tener plus que. So you're going to take the correct conjugation of the verb, right? Just like our chart right here, who's ever talking, you'll take that conjugation and then you just add the word que. So for example, if I wanted to say I have to go to the store, it'd be yo, tengo, that's the right conjugation for yo, que, and then I just add the rest of it, usually the infinitive form of the verb, so to go to the store, ir a la tienda. This means I have to go to the store. We have to buy food. Tenemos, right, is the correct conjugation for the verb, or sorry, the subject pronoun nosotros, which is we. So nosotros tenemos que comprar comida. We have to buy food. If you have any questions on any of this up to this point, please contact me. I'd be happy to help you out. This is really important grammar concepts that you're going to use quite a bit. So I really suggest you take notes and rewatch this recording if needed. Okay, to earn participation points or credit for a synchronous session, send me a message with the answers to all of the questions. Number 1, how do you say I have 6 brothers in Spanish? Number 2, ¿cómo se dice they share the pizza? Number 3, translate to English, tienen que estudiar. Number 4, translate to Spanish, we sell. Number 5, what does compartimos mean?